Good evening and welcome to tonight's basketball action. We're coming to you live from Kingman Gym, where the crowd is starting to fill in and the energy is building for a great matchup tonight. I'm Christian Courtney. Alongside me is Nick Giuseppe, and tonight we've got the K's taking on the Potters, both teams looking to advance in playoff action. As the players are finishing warm-ups, let's take a minute and talk about the atmosphere here in Ottawa. Nick, do you want to touch on the atmosphere here in Ottawa tonight?
Yeah, this place, before walking in, you can see the signs. It says sold out. This place is packed. Both student sections are filled. The fans are excited. I know the players are excited. They're ready to play in front of their not even a hometown crowd, really, but they're ready to play in front of their crowds, and they're ready to put up some great numbers tonight, which I think it'll be a great game.
Absolutely. I was talking with some friends earlier, and this game was actually sold out before game time. They were not selling tickets at the door, so you had to enter the building with a ticket already. I know me and you got stopped a couple times walking in here.
Yeah, they really wanted to make sure that we were actually allowed to be here with how many tickets were sold. And this gym is packed. I mean, there are fans in every row.
Yeah, I know you guys can't see it at home because this is a radio broadcast, but I don't really see any seats available.
No, I don't either.
This is a brick-built gym, so the noise just echoes off the walls. Me and Nick were talking earlier. We could barely hear each other, think.
Yeah, exactly. This place, we have a crowd mic on, so you'll definitely hear this place, and this place will get rowdy and very quickly if both teams are playing well.
1,000%, Nick. Taking a look at the Kankakee K's, 29-1, 12-0 in the Southland Athletic Conference. This team has been nothing short of exceptional all season. Nick, is there anybody that really stands out to you from this K's team?
Well, obviously the obvious choice would be the #1 ranked player in the state, Lincoln Williams, who surprisingly is not committed yet in his senior season, but he has a ton of D1 offers, and I would be expecting a commit very soon after this season.
Oh, 100% there. Multiple D1 offers. EJ Hazelat is another person to look forward to. Second option on this team, but he's committed to Indiana State. He actually led their matchup against East Peoria in scoring with 19 points.
Absolutely, and I think what held him back early on was the foul trouble.
Yeah.
If he could stay out of foul trouble early on in this game, he could have a great game. And I look, especially if Brendan Petty does not start this game, I think they'll look for him early on to establish some paint presence.
Well, you talk about Brandon Petty. Let's shift our focus to the Morton Potters, 28-4, 14-1 in the Mid-Illini Conference, coached by head coach Abe Zeller. Nick, do you really have anybody that stands out to you as far as the Potters?
Absolutely. Their senior guard, Alex McKee, is somebody who absolutely stands out. One of the best shooters in the area, as well as being a first-team all-conference player. I look for him to not only shoot the lights out this game, but I look for him to have a great game and lead this Potters team in scoring.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you right there, Nick. A big threat on the perimeter, but also he can score off the dribble. Don't get it twisted. This guy can drive in and get layups if he needs to. Another person you just talked about, Brandon Petty, likely coming off the bench, but he, don't be surprised if this guy has a great big game, big performance.
Absolutely. I think if they want to keep up with the size, that they will get him in as soon as possible, if not start this guy right away. And I think that he will have a great game. That is my pick to somebody who's going to be a surprise this game and have a great game.
Absolutely. One more man I want to touch on is Silas Steffen. Steffen actually plays football for the Potters, and he was voted all-area DB by Clutch Sports Media, but Steffen is a 6'4" forward, and he is overall a great athlete and can guard about anybody with his size. Being 6'4" in high school, that's reasonably tall, and he's very versatile. He can stretch the floor, and he can guard just about anybody.
Absolutely. And if you're the Potters, that is somebody you absolutely want to have on your team.
Yeah.
It's somebody who could guard that 1 through 5, who can give you that advantage. And playing DB kind of helps you with footwork and understanding some of the shiftiness that Kankakee might bring along with their team.
Yeah, you make a good point. I was a football player myself back in high school. I played linebacker, but those DBs, those are something different. They can keep up with the elite speed on the field, and bringing that to basketball, 100% right, Nick. That really gives you an edge in athleticism, and that's what this Potter team brings. They have a lot of people on this team that are multi-sport athletes, whether that's football or baseball. A lot of these people are playing multiple sports, which, is just overall a good athletic team to have.
Absolutely, and that is something that I think could very well shape this game, because this Potters team, unlike the Kankakee team, is very deep.
Yeah.
Kankakee in their last matchup versus East Peoria had their starters in all but 5 minutes, and the only person to come in was Elijah Cunningham for this Kankakee Hayes team. So I think if you're the Potters, you're going to want to get these starters tired. You're going to want to run the floor, especially if they're not willing to put those their bench players in.
Yeah, you make an excellent point right there, Nick. Kankakee, like you said, their bench had 0 points last game against East Peoria. They run a 5-man deep rotation. Occasionally the 6-man will come in, that's Eli Cunningham, like you said. But their 5 starters, Lincoln Williams, Kendis Jackson Jr., Cedric Terrell III, Meyer Thompson, EJ Hazlitt, those are the people that are running with the majority of the game. They're not getting a break, and if they do, it is not for an extended period of time. So if you're the Potters and if you're Coach Abe Zeller, you have to keep that in mind. You want to wear this team down, and for the Potters to be so deep, it plays to their advantage so well.
Absolutely, as I think this place is making noise, so we're about ready for tip-off here.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to start this game off with the national anthem.
Yeah, I got the national anthem, and I believe we'll have the starting lineups.
So, yeah, this place is excited. I'm excited. I'm definitely excited. I'm glad to be here.
Oh, absolutely. A little bit of a long drive for us out in Bradley, but
yeah.
Definitely worth it.
Definitely that nap on the car ride helped me.
Yeah, 100%. You might have to take one on the way back, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Looks like we're just here set for the national anthem. The national anthem performed by Ottawa's choir. Ladies and gentlemen, a reminder, this game is played at a neutral site in Ottawa. And it looks like we're just now set for starting lineups.
This place is ready to go.
Both fan bases travel so well. I mean, looking on our right side, we have Kankakee student section, left side, Morton student section, and they're both filled and packed to the brim.
Absolutely. I don't think there's an empty seat in those student sections.
As expected, Lincoln Williams, the first starter for Kankakee. Kendis Jackson Jr. fill the second slot. Number 3, Cedric Terrell is the third starter for this K's team. Number 4, Meyer Thompson. And rounding out the starting 5, senior forward E.J. Hazelett. Kankakee, coached by head coach Chris Pickett. Now it's Morton's turn for their starting lineup, coached by head coach Abe Zeller. His son, Jude Zeller, will start number 1. Then there's Alex McKee, someone me and Nick touched on earlier.
Yep.
Owen Adams, number 11. Silas Steffen, the senior forward in the 4th slot. And Callan Burns, the senior forward, number 25, rounds out their starting 5. So we won't see a start from Brandon Petty today.
Nope, and I think if I'm Kankakee, I want to go straight to the paint if I'm Kankakee.
Yeah.
Let's establish the paint dominance early. I mean, the size advantage is definitely there with a 6'7", pardon that meme right there, but with a 6'7" R.J. Hazelett.
Yeah. Brandon Petty, 6'6", tallest guy on their team, coming off the bench. So the tallest person for Morton is Silas Steffen, 6'4", and then you have E.J. Hazelett, 6'7", Lincoln Williams, 6'6", on Kankakee's side. So definitely a size advantage as we're set for tip-off. Tip-off won by the K's. It'll be Thompson bringing it up the floor. Thompson getting the offense going. 8-minute quarters here. In the corner is Williams, their main guy. Gives it up top to Hazelett. Hazelett from the right wing. Resets up top, they'll swing it around. In the left corner now is Jackson. Jackson gives it to Williams. Williams hop-stepping through the lane, and he's got 2. Falling into the student section as they try to hold him down. The referee's gonna call a timeout right there.
Yeah, it looked like that was a great move to slip by the defender. But I think he got a little tricked up there in the bleachers. Thankfully, the ref noticed that and was able to get him back in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want any foul play or anything right there. Owen Adams, the senior guard, bringing up the floor for his team. McKee now will take it. McKee, such a dangerous presence from the outside. He'll give it back to Adams. Now Adams to Burns, to Steffen. Steffen now at the top of the key. Zeller at the top of the key, spinning inside. Good footwork right there, but they're going to call it travel.
Wow. That looked a little bit like he got a little bit of contact there. I mean, if the ref saw a travel, obviously you can't argue, but I did see a little contact coming on the way down to that shot.
Could have gone either way right there. They're going to go with a travel, so it's going to be the K's ball as they lead 2-0 with 7 minutes left here in the first quarter. A good move right there by Myer Thompson to get inside.
Yeah, this K's team looks like they haven't missed a beat. They're off and running to start this game.
Jude Zeller brings it up the court. He'll give it to Adams. Adams driving to the left side, kicks it out in the corner. There's Burns. Burns has a touch inside. He's trying to back his way in. Cutter now, Zeller. Zeller kicks it out to the corner. Now McKee has it. He's trapped. And he turns the ball over. Here's Terrell pushing the floor. He gives it to Williams. Williams fouled. And it looks like it's going to get in the air, so he's going to get 2 free throws right there.
Wow, and I like this Kankakee's defense right now. They're coming out, they're pressuring the ball handler, they're making them make mistakes. That is something I wrote down for this Kankakee team.
Yeah.
Make Morton make mistakes early on in this game.
Yeah. As we said, Kankakee only runs with about 5 people as Williams attempts his first free throw off the mark, so it's a 4-0 lead still. But they play with such a high intensity. This team only runs with 5 people usually, but they are quick to the ball. They're trapping. You see they trap McKee in the corner down here, and that calls in the first turnover of the game.
Absolutely, and I think this coach, he knows that he's going to run his starters this whole game, so he's going to want to use his timeouts very wisely.
Yeah. Unorthodox right there as William misses both free throws for a break right there. McKee now almost turns it over for a second time. Williams in the passing lane, active hands.
Yep, he did not let those 2 free throws missed sort of alter his play. He was right back on defense and was able to make a nice tip pass there.
Yeah, spot on. Next play mentality, Nick.
Absolutely.
So McKee's going to inbound it from the right side. Zeller now has the ball. He's at the top Zeller looking for a screen, weighs it off. He's going to be working on Terrell. He casts it to the corner. A 3-ball off the mark. Rebounded by Terrell. Terrell now pushing the pace. He's going to wait for numbers as he resets, and it's going to be Thompson. Thompson back ups to Hazelat. Now to Williams. The right corner. Hazelat gets a post-entry feed. He goes up, and he's got 2 more for himself. 6-0 lead early here in the first quarter.
There's that size advantage I was talking about early on in this game. And they're going to get another travel here.
Zeller tried to push the pace. He gets cut off by Terrell, and he was forced into a travel. Second travel of the game for the Potters. A little bit of a slow start.
Yep, and I think they're going to bring in Brendan Petty. They're going to try to match this size here a little bit for this Kankakee team.
Good call, Nick. So here's Hazelat at the right. Now Terrell, pump fakes from the right corner. He'll toss it all the way to the opposite corner, and a 3-ball hit by Jackson. 9-0 lead with 5:30 in the first. Adams brings it up the floor. Adams gonna reset, and here's Steffen. Silas Steffen backing down Hazelat. He'll drive inside to Hazelat. Now Adams will pass it out to McKee. McKee back to Steffen. Steffen working on Hazelat. He'll get inside, and it's going to be a blocking foul called on the K's. So the first foul of the game against the K's is a blocking foul as Steffen tried to put up a floater off the mark, so they'll inbound it from the baseline.
I think if you're the Potters, you look to attack RJ Hazelat early. Get him in foul trouble, get him out the game, and reestablish yourself a little bit here.
Yeah.
They still have plenty of time. I know they're down 9, but they still have plenty of time. It's only the first quarter, and they've spent 3 minutes.
Absolutely. McKee inbounding it from the bound. He'll get a nice entry feed, and there's Brandon Petty with the first points of the Potters and the first points of the game. So Jackson brings it up the floor. He'll give it to Thompson, back to Jackson. Now here's Hazelat. He's going to work on Burns, and he turns it over. Brandon Petty with a steal. He pushes the pace. Up ahead is McKee, and he's going to get a layup. 9-4 now. Lead cut down to 5.
I think if you're Kankakee here, you want to slow down the pace.
Yeah.
This Potters team has built up some momentum, and that is something you do not want to let them have, because this team can get hot and hot quickly.
Here's Williams working. Gives it to Jackson, who puts his layup short. Excuse me, the floater short. So another great defensive possession. As Petty swings it to Burns. Burns driving inside, cut off. Here's Adams, and he goes up for a layup, and it looks like Kankakee drew a foul.
Yeah, that looked to be a charge up there on that layup. As RJ looks injured a little bit over there, that's not a good sign if you're Kankakee. Definitely want him to be okay.
Yeah. So Jude Zeller for Morton's going to check in, as well as Thomas Krupa. Krupa, a 6'7" senior forward. He also plays wide receiver for Morton, so another multi-sport athlete. And it looks like Eli Cunningham's going to check in, and they're going to take Hazelat out. So Hazelat maybe dealing with a little bit of injury. Hopefully he's all right. Jackson will give it to Terrell now. Terrell back to Thompson. Thompson working off a screen. Will give it back to an open 3 for Terrell, and he drains it. 12-4 with 3:49 to play in the first quarter. Here's Adams. Now to Burns, to Krupa, back to McKee. Krupa in the middle, and he gets fouled as he goes up.
I like the way this Potters team has attacked this paint. They got 2 fouls early on in this game, and I think they're going to continue to attack this paint and draw fouls.
Yeah.
As RJ checks back into the game already. Glad to see that he is okay.
So Thomas Krupa will go to line for 2. And we've already seen the Potters go big early on. We were a little bit concerned with the size matchup, but Brandon Petty already in the game, as well as Thomas Krupa.
Absolutely, and the Potters realize that this is not a game where you want to have small guards in, and they realize they have to match Kankakee's size if they want to pull away, and I think they absolutely can pull this one out.
Yep. So Krupa's first free throw just gets inside. Score now 12-5. As Hazelat will check back in for Cunningham. And Cunningham's really the only bench player we see from Kankakee. So already early on, Krupa drains the second. Score now 12-6, 6-point lead for the Kankakee K's.
Definitely an interesting strategy, just going a 5-man rotation.
Yeah. Jackson working off some half-court pressure, able to advance the ball past the midline. Now here's Thompson. Thompson's going to kick it to the left wing. Another three for Terrell. His is off the mark, airballed. As Zeller pushes the pace. Zeller drives inside, now kicks it out. Here's McKee, and there's a three, rims in and out. A board fighting down low, and it's going to stay with the Potters. Tremendous effort right there by Stylus Steffen working against E.J. Hazelat.
I like that. You know, they missed the shot, but they did not give up on the possession.
Yeah.
You know, they battled, and now they have the ball back.
Exactly.
And a chance to score here.
Second chance points are huge, especially come playoff time in March.
Absolutely.
Here's Petty with the ball. He'll give it to Zeller. Zeller feeds it, and now driving inside is Krupa. Pump fakes, and he's got a 2 and a layup.
Great patience there on that pump fake.
Yeah.
He knew the defender would bite, obviously, since he's a taller matchup, and he got the look that he wanted.
Score now 12-8 with just under 3 minutes to play in the first. Here's Thompson. He'll give it to Jackson. Jackson driving inside, kicks to the corner. Terrell driving inside, a great adjustment in the air, gets his own rebound, and off the mark once again. Some great, tremendous effort right there by Terrell as McKee finds inside Krupa. Krupa going to work, and he gets fouled in the air.
And this could easily be a one-possession game now. With the way this game started, way to battle back here by the Potters as they have taken full command of this game so far.
Yeah, and you see Thompson trying to get his group together. I would imagine he's just trying to say, guys, let's stay composed. You know, we don't want to get into foul trouble early on, something they struggled with against East Peoria.
Absolutely, because that could really alter a game. If your starters, especially if you're running a 5-man rotation, if your starters get in foul trouble early on, that is just a recipe for disaster the whole rest of the game.
Yeah. Krupa missed his first free throw, and McKee will go to the bench. Checking in is Owen Adams. Krupa will hit his second free throw. Score now 12-9, 3-point lead for the Kankakee K's. We'll see Colin Burns check back in as Krupa goes to the bench after a great effort. He got to the line twice right there, and 3 points already early on for him. Thompson, as we've seen all game, taking it up the court. He's guarded by Steffen. Thompson now kicks it to the corner. Entry post feed right here for Hazelat. Hazelat tangled up, and he got it ripped away from Zeller. Out and running are the Potters, and here's a slam dunk by Silas Steffen.
And this student section is hyped over there for Morton. That is some. Kankakee wants to get their dunks, but Morton absolutely does too. And you can see this, or well, not see, but you can hear the student section happy about that.
Absolutely, that cuts the lead down to 1 as Jackson gives it to Williams. Williams spins in the post, puts up a layup, and he's fouled.
And I think if you're Kankakee, you want to continue to go to your star player here.
Yeah.
Especially in a game that just has gotten close. You want to go to your star player and let him get to work.
I couldn't agree more, especially in a situation like this. Williams, you want to let him go to work, and even if he gets fouled, he goes to the line, he gets free throws, and it kind of slows the momentum down just for at least a second. We could see the momentum shifting in favor of Morton, especially after that slam dunk. So these free throws maybe, you know, slowing the pace down a little bit.
Absolutely, and if he continues to drive, they're going to continue to help, which will leave Kankakee shooters open to knock down some shots, and I think that'll be a key factor in winning this game.
Yeah, Terrell, we've already seen hit 2 threes early on here. So Williams hits his first free throw, extends the lead to 2, 13-11, with 1:47 left to play in the first. Williams will hit his second. The score now 14-11, 3-point lead for the K's. And an uncostly turnover right there by the Potters. It looked like Zeller was just trying to advance the ball to Adams in the corner, and he put a little too much sauce on it.
Absolutely. Adams did look open there for a little bit, so I absolutely agree with that pass. That was a great pass, just unfortunate that it sailed on him a little bit.
Thompson now will give it to Terrell on the right wing. Jackson at the top, Terrell back on the right wing, just back and forth, back and forth. We'll go to the left wing now, and here's Thompson back to Jackson. He thought about it, he'll give it back to Thompson. Thompson off the mark with the 3. Rebounded by the Potters. Potters out and running. Here's Adams, he'll reset. Zeller now with Terrell on him. He'll give it to Steffen. Steffen gives it to Adams, and now it's Krupa and Burns in the paint. Burns will go to work, and he'll get an easy hook shot for 2. Score now 14-13 with just under a minute left to play.
And I'm surprised that this Potters team, they started off in man, and now they're in a 2-3. With how well Kankakee's shot the basketball to start this game, I'm surprised they're in it.
Yeah.
But I want to see if this works.
Good point, Nick. Terrell now from the left wing. He'll attempt a deep 3, rattles out, rebound Zeller. He's going to slow down and hopefully hold for the last shot. We got a shoe loss on the court from Terrell. Here's Petty, kicks it out to the corner. Steffen from a 3. He drains it. With that 3, the Potters take the lead, 16-14 with 20 seconds left. Williams now is going to take the ball up as Terrell finally got his shoe back on.
And that was a confident shot. The defender was all up in his face, and that was just pure confidence in that shot. Great shot.
Yeah, not a tough shot at all, but drained. So they'll give it to Williams with 3 seconds. He'll kick it to Terrell. Terrell will give it to Jackson, and Jackson just runs out of time before they can get the shot up. Excuse me, that was Thompson. No shot put up, and the Potters will leave the first quarter up by 2. Morton Potters 16, Kankakee Caves 14.
Game day in my house is everything. I get out of class, I grab my gear, and get to the game because I can't wait. And my dad, he does the same thing. He's an official here in Illinois. He makes the tough calls, stays cool under pressure, and knows ball like nobody else. I want to be just like him. You can too. Sign up at highschoolofficials.com.
And we are just about set for the second quarter action. Nick, I know me and you talked a little bit, but first off, what a great first quarter from both teams.
Absolutely. Kankakee started off on a hot 9-0 run.
Yeah.
But the Potters, they felt poised. They felt like they've been here before. They battled back.
Yeah.
And now they find themselves up by 2 to start this second quarter.
So just great determination and grit shown by the Potters. And we kind of talked about this. This team is consistent, they're deep, and they're very experienced. So when they're down 9-0 at the beginning of the game, they're not really scared. They're poised in the moment, and that's why they're able to battle back. And now they lead the game 16-14 as this second quarter action begins. Zeller is working against Terrell. Zeller now from the right wing. He resets. On the left wing now, Zeller will get a post-entry feed to Burns. Burns against Williams, give it to McKee. McKee on the left side. He drives baseline. McKee kind of shut off and just throws it. Finds an open Steffen. Steffen drives inside, and it's bounced around as he missed the layup, and Terrell rebounds it. Here's Jackson now. He's going to reset. Terrell at the top of the key will pull it out. He'll give it to Thompson. Thompson looking to slow things down for Kankakee. Williams calling for the ball, but they will not give it to him, and they'll give it to Jackson. Now Williams will get it inside! Oh! And a big dunk by Lincoln Williams!
Wow, did he get up there with a defender in the paint? He got high on that slam.
That will tie the game 16-16 with 7 minutes left here in the second. What a dunk by Williams. The Potters looking to respond, and they'll give it to Steffen at the top of the key, guarded by Cunningham. Steffen looking to go to work. He'll drive, kick it out. Adams now shut off.
Going back to that. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
You're good. Adams with a big 3 in response. 19-16.
Absolutely. Going back to that dunk, though, that was a good momentum builder. But the Potters, they came right back with a 3.
Yeah.
And as we know, 3 is more than 2.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, good point. Back and forth as this game gone. Cunningham at the top of the key now. Williams calling for it frantically. Williams on the right side will pass it to Jackson. Jackson to Terrell on the left wing. A little crossover as he'll give it to Thompson. Thompson will attempt a mid-range off the mark as Cunningham tries to poke it free, but it's going to stay in possession of the Potters. Potters now up 19-16 with 6:11 to play in the second quarter. Burns inbounds the ball to Zeller. Zeller really does everything for this offense. He really controls the offense. He's the captain of the offense. He does the little things.
Absolutely. He might not be a highest scorer on paper, but he sets up his other players to make plays, and that's what a good point guard should do.
just like that, as he gets an entry feed before it was denied by Williams. An entry feed right there to Stephen, and here's Williams running. Baseline! Another dunk! Back-to-back dunks for Lincoln Williams.
And this Kankakee Hayes team is they have some high flyers. And that is something that if you're a fan of dunks, you'll definitely see here tonight.
And I'm definitely a fan of dunks. It is very exciting to watch. 19-18 is the score with 5:30 left in the second quarter. McKee driving on Thompson, unable to go anywhere. He's going to give it to his guard, Adams. Adams now give it to Silas Stephen. Stephen guarded against Eli Cunningham, excuse me. They'll give it back to McKee, the three-point threat. Here's Burns now from the right wing. A big cut right there by McKee, and he's unable to finish. Great cut by McKee, just couldn't get it to go, and now Thompson's pushing in transition. He's going to put up a layup, and it's good, and that takes the lead for the K's. 20-19, 1-point lead for Kankakee.
This Kankakee crowd is starting to get into it, and that if you're the Potters, you do not want the crowd to start getting into the game.
Yeah. Want to try to keep that a non-factor. Here's McKee, pump fakes a three. Now he'll take it, and it's good. Yep. What a response right there by Alex McKee, one of the best shooters in the area.
Absolutely showed it off right there.
Yeah.
That looked pure. As soon as it left his hand, I figured that it was good.
Yeah. 22-20, Morton Potters lead. Williams will kick it out to Terrell. Terrell drives inside, hop steps, loses it, and tries to fight for it, and it's retained by the Potters. And now pushing his transition is Burns, and he gets an easy layup to extend the lead to 4. 24-20 with 4 minutes left here in the second quarter. Jackson will pull it out, give it to Thompson.
I think if you're the K's here, you got to go back to Williams.
Yeah.
He has 4 of your last 4 points. I think you got to go back to him, which is what they do here.
Williams will feed it to Jackson, and he'll shoot a 3 off the mark. Right idea. Jackson was wide open, just couldn't get to go right there. Zeller now commanding the offense, trying to get a play. He's looking for a screen from Stephen. He's going to get it. A screen, and now this is the matchup they want. As Cunningham delivers a foul, I believe.
And right now the score is 24-20 with about 3:30 left in this game. So still plenty of time in this second quarter for both teams to make either, for the Potters to either expand on their lead or for the K's to, regain the lead.
Krupa will check back in as well as Petty. So Morton going for a bigger size. Scores 24-20 with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left here. Adams will get a touch at the top of the key. Here's Krupa, down low to Stephen. Stephen now up top to Adams. Adams just trying to save it as there was a wild pass, unable to do so. So turnover right there by the Potters.
Yeah, if you're the Potters, you want to minimize the turnovers.
Yeah.
This Kankakee team can rack up points in a hurry, and turnovers will not help you in that factor.
100%. Thompson now gives it to Williams. Williams hop stepping inside, and looks like he's going to draw a foul. I believe it's going to be on the floor, so no free throws. Excuse me. It is going to be a shooting foul, so Williams will attempt 2 free throws as his team is trailing by 4. Morton leading this one 24-20 against Kankakee.
Just to make it a 1-possession game here.
Yeah.
So this is definitely the man you want at the free throw line, though, if you're Kankakee.
100%. I believe this is Williams' 3rd trip to the free throw line already as he misses the first one. Kankakee really has had a decent struggle, at least in the playoffs, with free throws. And we've seen that early on here today. I believe Williams has missed a couple of his free throws. Let's see if he's able to hit this second one.
Absolutely, and free throws can ultimately win you or lose you a ball game, so definitely want to have those.
And he misses both. Morton secures the rebound. Morton kind of catches a break right there as they continue to lead this one 24-20. Here's Zeller now, working on Terrell. Gives it to Silas Stephen. Stephen will just pull up for a midi, unable to get it, gets his own rebound, works inside and a layup to extend this lead to 6 points. 26-20, the Potters lead it.
One thing I wrote down is that Morton has to be able to box out and sort of control the glass, and they've done that in a major way here. They've had so many offensive chances to And I'm pretty sure they've converted on all their second chance points almost.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Nick. A lot of second chance points as Terrell drives in and kicks it to Thompson. Thompson with the three. Off the mark, rebounded right there by McKee. A lot of second chance points for the Potters, and they've really produced and taken advantage of that.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed is that RJ is not in this game.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen him very much in this second quarter. So I wonder what's going on with him.
McKee with the three from the corner, off the mark, fighting for the rebound, and it's going to be a foul on the floor. So Kankakee will get possession. And it looks like E.J. Hazelett is going to check right back into this game.
Yeah, right as I mentioned.
Yeah. Some valuable minutes off the bench right there by Cunningham, the senior forward, but Hazelett just a really big presence in this game, and you need him in here as they trail 26-20 to Morton.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to always have your second best player in at all times. I mean, this Kankakee team, all their starters are really good, but having your second best player on the floor at all times is key.
Yes, 100%. Kind of makes it easier for a person like Williams.
Absolutely, because there's another person that they have to worry about.
Yeah. Here's Terrell in the corner. He'll give it to Hazelett. Hazelett with an entry post feed. He'll pull up a midi, and he's got it.
Yep. Checks right into the game and gets right to work.
26-22 now as the Kankakee K's only trail by 4. Zeller going to push it up the floor with pace. He'll give it to Silas Steffen. Steffen now against Thompson. Give it to Brandon Petty. Brandon Petty lost the ball, and it just goes right into the hands of Krupa. Right spot, right place, right time as he gets an easy layup to extend the lead to 2. 28-22 Potters.
Just how they drew it up.
Yeah.
Just how they drew it up.
Jackson now gives it to Terrell. Terrell to Thompson. Back to Jackson. Jackson will attempt a three at the top of the key off right. And that's going to fizzle out of bounds as Brandon Petty will inbound the ball. 28-22. Morton Potters lead this with just about 50 seconds left in this first half.
Absolutely. And Kankakee came off shooting the ball very well. I think they hit their first 2 threes that they attempted, but after those first 2 threes, I don't think they have hit a 3 yet, so they might want to look elsewhere.
Zeller drives inside. He's going to kick it off to Silas Steffen. Steffen with a nice little floater and good touch to get his team to 30 points here in the second quarter. 30-22, Morton leads as Thompson brings it across midcourt. The K's can hold to the last shot, and it looks like that's what they might do as Thompson's talking to head coach Chris Pickett. He'll give it to Terrell on the right wing. Terrell will give it up top of the key to Lincoln Williams. Williams with 10 seconds left on the on the play clock, will just hold it. He's looking for a move. He'll give it to Terrell. Terrell, the right wing, cross it all the way across the court. Thompson puts up a shot off the mark and no good. Looks like not the shot they wanted. They were trying to get a play there, couldn't get it, so they had to give it across the court to the left wing to Thompson. He just had to chuck up a shot as time expired. Nonetheless, the Morton Potters lead this one 30-22 against the Kankakee K's.
Absolutely, and this Morton crowd, you can probably hear them. They're starting to get into this game.
Yeah.
And as much as I said the Kankakee crowd, or Morton can't allow the Kankakee crowd to get into the game, you cannot allow this Morton crowd to get into this game as well. And it's looking like they're starting to feel it.
Yeah, it's a very unorthodox environment we're in. And I say that because we are in Ottawa, a neutral site, but it's almost like a home game for both teams in the fact that when Morton's doing good, it feels like a home game for Morton. When Kankakee's on a run, it feels like a home game for Kankakee. Both these student sections are packed and juiced to the gills, and they've really proven dividends here as the momentum's just back and forth.
Absolutely, and both of these teams are stellar programs. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
They both know how to close out games, how to battle back, and I look at this halftime score, and this will absolutely be sort of looking into the future. This game's going to be close. This game's going to be good, and I believe this game has set up to be that way in this first half. And I know Kankakee's going back into the locker room, and they're starting to talk about how they can sort of get back into the groove as they started off this game red hot, but they sort of lost it as the second quarter played out. If in the Potters locker room, they're definitely talking about how they can maintain and even bring a bigger margin into this lead. As I know both of these coaches, they're stellar coaches. They will definitely look to make adjustments, and I'm sure they'll find success in this game.
Absolutely. I mean, we talked about early on, Kankakee got out to a tremendous start, a 9-0 start to, out the gates. And not to say that it fizzled out, but the Potters answered right back, and they've really kind of been in control, at least in the second quarter. They've had a lead, and they're kind of, playing safely. They're not putting up bad shots. They're making sure that lead's still there, as it's 30-22 here at halftime, and they lead by 8. But Morton has been here before. They've won 3 sectional titles, whereas Kankakee has, they're seeking their first sectional title since 1960. They lost 65-63 to Metamora in sectional semis last year. So Morton's very experienced. We talked about this. We touched upon it. They're very experienced. They act like they've been here before because they have been here before, and they're poised in the moment. And that could be a big contributor why they're up 8 at halftime, 30-22.
Absolutely, and I think experience will become a huge factor in this game. I think that both these Kankakee is sort of playing with a fire, obviously coming off their loss last year, and the Potters, on the other hand, they know what it feels like to win.
Yep. 100%.
So they know how to close out a game, and Kankakee, obviously, they're, like I mentioned earlier, they're playing with that fire. They want to win this game. Both teams want to win this game.
100%.
But it's gonna come down to who can hit their free throws and who's gonna want it more.
Yeah. So just about 7 minutes left here in halftime. We're going to send this over to break, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
The last class of the day for my student athletes isn't English, science, or math. It's school sports, where the #1 priority is teaching, just like every other classroom. As their coach, I help them grow as leaders and become better people, preparing them for the game and, more importantly, for life. That's why the best wins are the lessons they learn, which will impact them long after their playing days are over. Encourage your student to participate in school sports.
This message presented by the IHSA and the Illinois Athletic Directors Association.
Come on, Liam, let's go! Get open! Come on, go for it! Wake up! Wake up, Liam! Oh, come on, use your head! Gotta want it! Dominate!
There he goes again. Liam's dad yelling from the stands, trying to relive his glory days.
I know. We're just trying to have fun out here and play with our friends. It's not that deep.
He seriously needs to get a grip.
Does he really think he's helping Liam play better?
I feel bad for Liam. I know he's embarrassed his dad ruins every game like this. I mean, I would be too.
Someone needs to tell him this isn't about him.
Yeah, stop trying to coach from the stands and just cheer.
That's what Liam wants.
That's what we all want.
Be your student's biggest fan, not their biggest critic. This message presented by the IHSA and the Illinois Athletic Directors Association.
Game day in my house is everything. I get out of class, I grab my gear, and get to the game because I can't wait. And my dad, he does the same thing. He's an official here in Illinois. He makes the tough calls, stays cool under pressure, and knows ball like nobody else. I want to be just like him. You can too. Sign up at highschoolofficials.com.
Welcome back to Clutch Sports Media, as there's just about 5 minutes left here in halftime. We got some scores we could talk about, Nick. So here, if you want to read some of these off right here.
Absolutely. Manual currently leads West Montauk 33-19, as well as Richwoods beat Edwardsville 59-58. So that was a heck of a game there.
Down to the nail biter, 59-58. I mean, that's what this game could be. This is looking and shaping out to be a nail biter. An 8-point lead for Morton, but I have a sense Kankakee's going to come back in this one.
Absolutely, and we can also quickly mention that the girls, we have 2 girls teams playing for states. We have DMAC as well as Washington playing for state title runs, and those are 2 very good teams.
Yeah.
I fully believe that they have a great chance to win their state.
So let's take a look at some of these stats that we have so far. Total points, Lincoln Williams leading the way for the Kankakee K's with 8 points here in the first half. We got some nice contributing pieces. We got Hazelat with 4, and then Thompson as well with 4.
Absolutely. I think if you're Lincoln Williams, you've sort of seen how this game has gone. I feel like he's sort of feeling it in himself that he has to sort of take over this game.
Yeah.
On the score sheet, I know he's attempted 6 free throws, but he's only attempted 3 shots. So I got to think that coach is talking, hey, we got to get our best player the ball here.
Yeah.
And sort of let him go to work and let him get you guys open, which he's definitely shown that he could do.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, Williams is a playmaker. He's gonna make plays, but you want to get him those open shots, which you mentioned he has not had enough of today. Only 3 shots on the game.
Absolutely.
So let's shift it over to Morton now. Leading the scores table for Morton is Silas Steffen with 9 points. He's really been a great presence down low. We kind of talked about it in the pregame, but Steffen, 6'4", he's been the second option for this team, and he's an all-around athlete and can guard about anybody with his size. 6'4", as we mentioned. He's a tremendous athlete and a tremendous scorer, and he's getting it done today.
Absolutely. I mean, normally when you think of their top scorer, you think of Alex McKee, but like I mentioned earlier, this Potters team is so well-rounded. Anyone could go off at any given night, and we sort of seen Silas Steffen sort of go off and lead this Potters team here tonight.
Yeah, McKee has 5 points of his own. Thomas Krupa has 7 points, and Krupa, another one of these players that has size, 6'7". We were talking about him earlier. We wanted to see if the Potters could match the K's size, and they've done that well. Krupa's been a tremendous asset so far.
Absolutely, and especially, if you can get that off your bench, especially, obviously we know that he didn't start this game, but he's played like he was a starter, or played like he should have been. He's had an amazing game here tonight and definitely helped this Potters team to an 8-point lead here at half.
Yeah, some valuable minutes off the bench, exactly what we need. So MacArthur is leading Normal U High 28-18 at halftime at the 3A Mount Seymour Sectionals.
Absolutely. I think that's going to be, I think all these sectional games are going to be really good. As they should be. These are great teams, and, normally when you get to sectionals, you don't want to see blowouts, and we've seen probably none of that here tonight.
Yeah, all these teams have earned the right to be here, and they really have shown it. All these games, tremendous games. Once again, 30-22, Morton leads this one with about a minute 15 left to go in halftime. We'll talk a lot of high school sports, high school basketball. Let's shift the focus to college basketball for a little bit. Bradley, our beloved Bradley, as we both attend Bradley University, they're leading Valparaiso 49-46 in their first game of the Arch Madness tournament.
I feel like the first round is always the most nerve-wracking round of the playoffs. I feel like if you can get out of the first round, you sort of lift that, especially if you're a high seed, if you can lift that first round, like expectations off your shoulders, you feel more relaxed. So
you make a great point, because earlier on today, Drake upset the 1 seed Belmont.
Yeah.
And, great fashion. They beat them by, I think, 20 points. And
they beat them by 21, 100-79.
Yeah, and that's a huge upset. Belmont was having a tremendous season, and they had a tremendous season, but to go into Arch Madness as the 1 seed, it kind of plays with your mind a little bit.
Yeah.
You maybe play with a little sense of confidence, and Drake was able to take advantage of that.
Absolutely. But going back to that Bradley team, as a Bradley fan, I want them to win, and I hope they can pull out this lead here in the second half. As the second half, speaking of second halves, the second half is about to kick off here between the Morton Potters and the Kankakee K's.
30-22 is your halftime score as we're getting set here for the third quarter. The Kankakee K's will roll with the same 5 starters we see majority of the game.
Yep.
And it looks like the Potters are going to send out their same 5 starters. So Brandon Petty, who was a great presence, is going to come off the bench once again. The K's will inbound the ball at half court as they get possession here in the third quarter.
So we saw a little quick glimpse of the Potter student section. They know they're winning this game, and they want the K's to hear about it.
Yeah. Here's a touch up top for Hazelat. Hazelat will kick it to the left wing. Back to Terrell on the right wing. Here's Jackson to Williams. Inside, Williams driving baseline. Couldn't get it to go. Great defense.
Yep, excellent defense there from the Potters. But like I mentioned earlier, he needs to take some more shots, and it looks like he came out and he was ready to attack as soon as he got that ball.
That's kind of what you want to see, as there's a foul inside right there. It's going to go on Kankakee. They foul Burns, but you want to see your playmaker taking a shot. He came out the gate straight to the basket, straight to the layup. It didn't go, but a good look.
Absolutely. just excellent defense.
30-22 with 7.5 minutes left as McKee will inbound the ball for the Potters. McKee's going to get it to Steffen. Back to McKee. McKee will think about a three, pass it to Steffen. Steffen just couldn't haul that one in, and it's going to go out of bounds. And now the K's will have possession.
Sort of looked like Steffen wasn't expecting that pass. He sort of thought that McKee was going to shoot that.
I think we all did. I thought McKee was definitely going to put that one up. Jackson Jr. now takes it up the court. He'll give it to Hazlitt. Hazlitt pump fakes. Williams now baseline drives it. Jackson Jr. kick it out to Thompson. Thompson to three, off the mark, fighting for the rebound. Steffen able to haul that one in, and Zeller's going to bring it up across midcourt. He's guarded heavily by Thompson, half-court press, and they're going to call a foul on Thompson.
And I know Thompson ended up taking that wide open three, but I'm more surprised that Jackson didn't take that three. He looked wide open there and sort of passed it up. Was the shot wide open? Absolutely, but I was fully expecting him to shoot that.
Yeah, I kind of had the same thought right there. Jackson was open at the three-point, just passed up on it. Zeller now guarded by Terrell. Top of the key. He'll give it to McKee, the shooter. McKee will toss it to the right wing to Steffen. Steffen working inside against Hazlitt. Couldn't get it to go. Great defense played by Hazlitt as he pushes the pace. Dangerous pass, and it's going to go in favor of the Potters as they create a turnover.
Yeah, and I mentioned turnovers for the Potters, but if you're down in this game, the last thing you want is turnovers. And the Kankakee K's cannot force any unnecessary passes.
Already a minute and a half into the third quarter. 30-22 still remains our score. No points left in the third quarter yet. As Steffen gets a post entry feed. He's backing down Hazlitt. Steffen will go over Hazlitt. Draw the and one.
Wow, and it looked like there was nothing that he wanted more than that basket right there. He was determined.
Yeah.
Put his back to his defender and just sort of went to work as we see McKee sort of hyping up this Potters crowd as he realizes they have a 10-point lead now.
Yes, 10-point lead, 32-22 with 6.5 minutes left in the third quarter. It's going to be a timeout used by Kankakee, I believe.
Yeah, and I think if you're Kankakee, you sort of want to go back to what was working, that sort of drive and kick, right?
Yeah.
Like it looks like the Potters are sort of sending two, which will automatically mean somebody will be wide open. So definitely look for the drive and kick. I know, like I said earlier, they have not shot the three ball well, but if it's there, you got to take it.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can't pass up on open shots.
Absolutely.
So Silas Steffen will get a chance at three after his layup was good and the foul. Steffen has a chance to propel this lead to 11 as they already lead 32-22 with 6 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third quarter.
One thing I've noticed here is that this Potters team is not sort of showing that they're nervous here, you know?
Yeah.
This Kankakee team is ranked highly. Actually, they're ranked nationally. They're ranked in the top 20 nationally. Yeah. And the Potters are looking like they should be ranked top 20 nationally with the way they've come out here tonight.
Steffen missed that free throw. But yeah, you make a good point. The K's are the first number one ranked scoring team, or seventh scoring team in the state. And they're held to 22 in the third quarter.
Absolutely.
Thompson will give it to Jackson. Jackson will swing it to Terrell. Terrell back up top to Williams. Now to Jackson, blocked as he attempted a three. He gets his own rebound. Jackson kind of trapped in the corner. He'll shove it across the court. Now Terrell gets another shot. Blocked again for 3-point. Jackson inside, able to corral it, and now missed his layup. Gets it back, misses it again. Off the mark, Terrell chases down and his own miss, and Hazlitt will finish inside.
And I mentioned this earlier. I think Petty's going to have a great game, and those two blocks right there on what look to be wide open shots.
Yeah.
Which is sort of, as he looks to go to work here right there, but that looks to be a key factor in this game.
Petty had an opportunity to drive. He kicked it out to Owen Adams. Adams drove inside, and he got fouled, so he'll get 2 free throws. I want to take us back to that possession. The K's ended with 2 points on that possession, and those were hard-fought points.
Absolutely.
As the score is 32-24 now in favor of the Potters. But Brandon Petty was everywhere on that possession.
Yeah, it felt like when there was a wide-open shooter, he was there. It felt like it wasn't wide open anymore, and he got 2 blocks from it.
Yeah.
But like you mentioned, the K's ended up corralling, I think, like 4 or 5 offensive rebounds, and they ended up getting the layup there from RJ.
Yeah. So Adams will miss the first free throw and attempt the second one. He's got the second one. Now a 9-point lead for the Potters, 33-24 in favor of Morton. Thompson will take it up the right side, as he does so well. He's guarded by Adams. Thompson will give it to Terrell. Terrell guarded by Zeller. Thompson now cuts inside, puts up a shot off the mark. Big rebound there by Burns. Burns gives it to Zeller, now back to Burns. Burns will take it up the court. He's guarded by Williams. He's going to go to work, passes outside to Zeller. To Adams. Now Zeller has the ball at the top of the key. Zeller guarded heavily by Terrell. Great defense right there, and they're going to call a timeout. Coach Abe Zeller is going to call a timeout with 5 minutes left here in the third quarter.
And that was great defense there from Terrell. He wasn't allowing Zeller to get an inch of room and allowing him. He felt like he knew his next move.
Yeah.
Wherever Zeller wanted to go, he was right there. And the coach, wise time out there as his point guard was getting a little bit of trouble there.
Yeah, Terrell is a great defensive presence. He was also the star running back for the Kankakee football team. So a great athlete. Really showed it right there as he locked down Morton, forcing them to call a timeout, kind of reset.
Absolutely, and one thing we mentioned about the Potters is that they have a lot of multi-sport athletes, but so do the K's, and that is really helpful when you're out of season, because the players will always have something to do and something to keep them in shape.
Especially when you're running a 5-man lineup like the K's are. Here's Adams at the right wing. We'll pass it to Steffen. Steffen now on the corner. Gives it to Petty. Petty now in the corner, guarded by Thompson. He's going to try to back Thompson down. He's shut off. They're going to give it to Steffen as he's at the top of the key. Adams now gives it to Burns. Burns has the ball working against Williams. Burns drives inside, pump fake, kicks it out to Steffen, for Adams for a three, and it goes.
And I was just about to mention how well the Kankakee K's looked there on defense. They looked like they were communicating well, as there's another block from Petty. Nonetheless, obviously he's been all over the painted area tonight, but I was just about to mention how well and communicated they looked out there, but they happened to leave a wide open sharpshooter open, and that's normally the result that comes with that.
36-24 is your score, as a finger roll goes for Jackson Jr. He cuts the lead down to 10. 36-26 now in favor of the Potters. Petty's going to take it up the court for the Potters. Petty's with some nifty dribble work, gets and working on Thompson, gets inside, and what a tough layup right there by Petty. Williams now on the other end, he responds fast as he cuts the lead to 10, 38-28 in favor of Morton.
Most of the time, you do not see your 6'6" big man sort of cooking up there. But that was oh wow, as we have a steal here.
Steal for Jackson. Jackson gets inside, he's fouled. And he's gonna shoot 2 free throws as a shooting foul. Layup did not go, as you're saying, Nick.
Yeah, going back to my previous point, most of the time you do not see your center sort of bringing up the ball and putting some moves on.
Yeah.
Especially not on a good defender like Thompson. But he was able to get to the paint, and that's what happens when your center can get to the paint on a smaller defender.
Petty was getting shifty all the way from half court, and he brought it all the way to the lane and got a layup.
Yeah, I mean, I was not expecting that, but I was quite surprised when I saw it.
Pleasantly surprised. Scores 38-28 as Jackson hits his first free throw. Cuts the lead down to 9 now. And looks like we'll get some substitutions. Petty, after some hard-earned minutes, will go to the bench.
Absolutely, and if you're coach, if you're Coach Zeller, you're definitely looking to get him back in the game as soon as possible. He's played great here tonight.
McKee will check in, their sharpshooter, as Jackson will attempt his second free throw. It's good, cuts the lead down now to 8. 38-30 is the score with 3 minutes and 44 seconds left in the third quarter. Adams gives the ball to Burns. Burns guarded by Williams. Got to get across half court, and he does. Williams now cut off by Burns. Burns cut off by Williams, and now a steal. Thompson pushing the pace. He's going to reset and get an entry feed to Haslett. Haslett with 2 people on it, misses the first free throw, and then gets fouled.
And it looks like this K's team is starting to get back into it. Obviously, the crowd at home couldn't see it, but RJ looked fired up there with that shooting foul.
Yeah, Haslett, you see he missed his layup, got his own rebound, put up another one, and he got fouled, and just a nice scream and a flex from Haslett as he has his first free throw here, which he drains. 38-31, 7-point lead for the Potters. Slowly but surely, this K's team's chipping away.
Absolutely. And if you're the Potters, that is something you don't want. You do not want to allow this K's team back in this game.
Haslat misses the second free throw, so only a 7-point lead. It stays for the Potters, 38-31 with 3 minutes and 20 seconds to play. Here's Adams, guarded by by Jackson. Gives it to McKee. McKee guarded by Jackson. A double now. Forces a turnover. Here's a fast break dunk! Williams gets the crowd riled up.
And this Kankakee crowd is starting to feel it. And that is something you do not want to see if you're the Potters.
Lead cut down to 5. 38-33 with 2 minutes and 50 seconds in the third quarter. The crowd is on their feet. Stepton has the ball for the Potters. He's going to hold it, try to get something going. Haslat's guarding him. He'll give it to Adams. Back to Stepton. Stepton now to McKee. McKee to Zeller in the corner. Back up to Stepton on the left wing. Guarded heavily by Haslat. He's trying to work on him. Couldn't do anything. Now Adams has it. He almost turns the ball over as Williams in the passing lane. He was trying to get it to McKee in the corner.
And this K's team looks like they're a lot more fired up. They look like they're anticipating every move. They're face guarding. They're giving no breathing room. That's another steal. Almost got his hands on that. That was almost a steal there for Terrell. And this K's team is just flying around this court now.
2 back-to-back almost steals, if you will, by the K's. So now Morton will inbound at half court. McKee the inbounder. He's going to give it to Zeller in the backcourt. Zeller's going to try to, I would assume, to slow things down as he's guarded by half court by Terrell.
I think
Terrell in the lane. He'll give it to Adams. Adams now guarded by Jackson. McKee now in the right wing, puts up a shot. It's drilled! McKee with a huge response and a timeout now.
Wow, I mean, that shot was deep, and you're not expecting anyone to pull from that far, but when you're Alex McKee, you definitely have that shot in your range.
It was only a matter of time we seen it, and there was no timeout called on the floor, just a stoppage by the ref, but only a matter of time we see McKee launch one of those threes up, and it goes, and right there it does, and now he extends the lead to 8 points, 41-33 in favor of the Potters. The K's will just work it around the horn a little bit. Jackson will give it to Thompson. Thompson drives inside with a lot of pressure and contact, will draw a foul, and there'll be a shooting foul. Thompson would get a chance for 2 at the line.
Absolutely, and it looks like this Potters team has gone back to that 2-3. They sort of want this K's team to start shooting the ball as they've gotten into the paint a lot here in this third quarter.
Thompson will attempt 2 free throws at the line with a chance to cut this lead down to 6 as Morton leads this one 41-33. Thompson's first free throw off the mark, and that's something that we kind of talked about, but we noted this team they've had a little bit of trouble with missed free throws here in the playoffs, and we've definitely seen that here today.
Absolutely, and a team that is experienced and who has been here before, like the Potters, you do not want to miss your free throws.
Exactly. Thompson able to hit that second free throw, cuts the lead down to 7. The Potters winning 41-34 with 1:42 left in the third quarter. It's going to be Burns taking it across the floor. He's guarded heavily by Williams. Almost poked free by Terrell as they try to get the ball to Zeller. Burns now working on Williams again. He'll get it to Petty. Petty to Zeller at the top of the key. Zeller working on Terrell. He'll toss it out in the corner. McKee for 3. Got it! Back-to-back threes for Alex McKee. Extends this lead to 10 as Haslat drives inside. His layup, no good. The Potters out and running. Going to slow it down now. Petty will get across the midline.
And that is something that you do not want to do if you're the Kankakee K's, is leave Alex McKee open for 3.
44-34 with just under a minute left. McKee working from the right baseline, tries to drive inside. He's going to hit a fadeaway off the mark, rebounded by Thompson. Thompson pushes the pace now, slows it down a little bit. He's working on Burns, spinning on Burns, a left-handed layup, and 1 for Thompson. Mean mugging the Potters. What a tough play that was by Thompson.
That was a great move too. Sort of got his defender off balance there with that spin, and that set him up perfectly for this and 1 layup.
Thompson had a huge go-ahead and 1 in the fourth against East Peoria. A chance for another and one here as he's got a one free throw.
Definitely knows a thing or two about and ones.
Yeah. Here Thompson misses the free throw, rebounded by Burns. 44-36 is the score. 8-point lead for Morton with 35 seconds left in the third quarter. Zeller gets it across, and here's McKee. McKee will get it to Burns. Burns at the three-point line, entry feed to Petty. Petty just lost it right there. It's going to stay in the hands of the Potters. I think that got poked free by Jackson.
Absolutely, and as we near this fourth quarter, a thing to note is how well the K's can play in the fourth quarter. We go back to the previous matchup against East Peoria. They outscored East Peoria 21-7, I do believe, in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, they went on quite the run. Zeller at the top of the key, working on Terrell. Good move to get inside, misses the layup. Burns with the rebound, puts it up, and that goes out of bounds. Looks like there's some arguing to see whose ball it's going to stay with. The K's are saying it's their ball, the Potters are saying it's our ball, and the refs are going to talk about it. A big call this is going to be. 12 seconds left in the third quarter, 44-36 in favor of the Potters.
I think if you're the K's here, I was going to say, if you're the K's, you definitely want this to be your ball.
Yeah.
You definitely want the last shot.
It's going to end up in the hands of the Kankakee K's. 12 seconds left as they trail 8 points to the Potters. Now, Nick, I'm not a betting man, but I think this might go into the hands of Lincoln Williams, if I had to guess.
Yep, and that's who they pass it to right away, but they're going to swing it around here.
Here's a alley-oop! Williams for the baseline! Dunks it home! McKee puts up a half-court shot just off the mark, and what an electric way to end the third quarter for Kankakee, riding high despite being down 6, despite being down 44-38. They get a alley-oop dunk to finish out the third quarter. This crowd is electric.
Absolutely, and if you can end the third quarter on a high note just like that, like with an alley-oop, oh, you're setting yourself up for a long, long and hypeful crowd.
So as we wait for the fourth quarter action, we'll go to break for 30 seconds. Stay tuned here on Clutch Sports Media.
The last class of the day for my student athletes isn't English, science, or math. It's school sports, where the #1 priority is teaching, just like every other classroom. As their coach, I help them grow as leaders and become better people, preparing them for the game and, more importantly, for life. That's why the best wins are the lessons they learn, which will impact them long after their playing days are over. Encourage your student to participate in school sports.
This message presented by the IHSA and the Illinois Athletic Directors Association.
We are all set for fourth quarter action. Nick and me are smiling, grinning ear to ear. This has been quite the game.
Yeah, and both of these teams are making that hour-and-a-half drive from Bradley worth every single minute of it.
Well worth, absolutely. The Potters will start the ball in the fourth quarter as they lead this one 44-38. Just 8 minutes left in regulation. Stefan will get the ball and give it to Zeller. Zeller guarded by Terrell on the left wing. He's going to go to work inside. Zeller with the layup, foul.
Yep. And if you're Zeller, that's a great move. No, Zeller, definitely a pass-first guy, but he knows how to get to the painted area and draw fouls.
Yeah. And that's the matchup he wants. Zeller 6'2", Terrell listed at 5'11". He's just going to back him down in the post, try to get inside, and he was able to. Didn't get the layup, but he got fouled, so he gets two shots at the line.
Absolutely, and by no means, even though that Terrell is listed at 5'11", by no means is he a bad defender at all. He is absolutely probably one of, if not the best defender that the K's have.
Yeah.
Obviously outside of Williams, but.
High motor, high intensity, as Zeller gets the first one to go, increases this lead to 7. 45-38 in favor of the Potters with 7:46 to play.
Absolutely.
Zeller off the mark with the second one, rebounded by Stylus Stefan, gives it to Petty. Petty to Zeller up top. Zeller with an open lane, gives it up to Burns. Burns denied when he goes up for the layup, and into the hands it goes to Williams. Williams and the K's are rolling. They're going to settle down as Thompson goes to work inside on the baseline. He's denied by Petty. Petty with his third block of the game. And it looks like they're going to get a foul on the floor, though, as Both teams are trying to corral the rebound. It looks like a foul on Zeller. So it's going to stay in possession of the case. But oh my goodness, Petty has been everywhere.
Absolutely. I believe if my math is correct, I believe that's his fourth block.
Fourth, okay.
This game tonight. He has been amazing down low for this Potters team.
Oh my goodness, he has been quite the defensive presence, excuse me. Terrell is going to inbound the ball from down low.
Absolutely, and as we saw as everyone was sort of helping each other up, Williams was sort of telling Thompson to slow down.
Yeah.
There's still a long way to go in this fourth quarter. No need to rush anything.
Only a 7-point game as Jackson got to his spot, hit a shot off the mark, try to get the rebound. It goes out of bounds on the K, so it's going to go to Morton. 45-38 with 7:11 to play in the fourth.
Absolutely, and if you're the K's, that's the shot you want. That's a wide open, I would say about 5 to 7 foot shot. And if you're the K's, that's absolutely a shot that you want more often.
Zeller tried to draw the charge. He got knocked back, leading to Jackson being wide open. Just couldn't get that one to go. But that's a good shot, good look, and that's what you want.
Yep, just unfortunate that it didn't go in. But I know Jackson. If he has that same shot, he's going to bury it.
Yeah, that's the shot you want. The refs are wiping the court here. We got a little bit of stoppage. Looks like there's some water, maybe some sweat on the court, making it slippery for the players. So we'll resume action.
It looks like there's more water.
Yeah. Looks like on the other end there's going to be some towels getting thrown on the ground to wipe any moisture. We don't want any injuries, any unnecessary slipping happening.
Absolutely, and if that's how you can tell these players are playing their hardest.
Yeah.
when you have to mop not just on one end of the floor but both ends.
Yeah.
These players are giving it their all.
7-11 in the fourth quarter as the Morton Potters lead this one 45-38, 7-point lead. As Silas Steffen inbounds the ball from the right end. Looks like a full court press is in action for the K's. Steffen gets it to Adams. Oh, and Zeller just slipped at mid-court. Adams guarded by Terrell. He's going to have to get it past half court, able to do so just in time. And almost turned the ball over as he tried to force a pass to Steffen.
One thing I'll note is how active these K's hands are.
Yeah.
It felt like every pass that is made, they've had their hand on.
Zeller at the top of the key. 7 minutes to play. Gives it to Petty. Petty to Steffen. Steffen to the corner to Adams. Adams tries to get it back inside to Steffen, and it goes off the foot of Hazelat.
Not just hands, apparently. They even get their feet on the ball as well.
Yeah, good point, Nick. McKee will inbound from his side of the ball. Now it's going to be Zeller. Zeller inbounding, guarded by Thompson. He gets it to, we're still trying to look for somebody. He gets it to McKee. McKee circling around, gets it to Petty on the corner. Petty drives back up top, and they're going to reset at the top of the key, Zeller. This has been their guy, their point guard they go to when they need an offensive play to run. There's going to be a foul called on Thompson as Zeller tried to get something going.
And the matchup I want to know is that they have Lincoln Williams on Alex McKee. They have best on best here.
Yeah.
Your best man against my best man.
Williams is a great defender. McKee obviously a great shooter. So interesting matchup right there. Zeller now drives inside, gives it to Petty. Petty spins inside, unable to do anything, so he's just going to reset. Guarded and hounded by Jackson. And it looks like,
I'm going to be honest, I don't really know what the call there was.
I think there might have been a carry. I think a carry might have been a call. So it's going to go as a turnover for the Potters, and the K's will have the ball. 45-38, they trail, 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely, and I think the refs saw something there that we didn't, because I didn't see anything that looked out of the ordinary.
Terrell had a chance, and he got denied at the rim, but the ball is going to go off the Potters, so they'll have another opportunity. Burns is going to check back into the game for Zeller. Terrell is looking to inbound the ball in the baseline. Terrell gets it to Williams. Williams guarded by Steffen. Williams going to work inside. Finger roll layup, gets it to go, cuts the lead down to 5. 45-40 with 6 minutes left. Petty looking for someone to inbound the ball to. Just gets it out before a violation's called. And Stefan gonna bring it up the court. He's met at half court by Hazelat. This is a great matchup they have going all game.
One thing I noticed is that the Potters came out in a 2-3 there out of that inbounds.
Yeah.
And normally when you're in a 2-3, you don't want to allow paint points, but it looked like Williams did not care. He was attacking that paint regardless.
Burns trying to back down Thompson, unable to do so. Now he's able to, puts up a layup, and it's good to go. 47-40, 7-point lead for the Potters. Thompson gets it across the midline, gets it to Terrell. Terrell to Williams. Williams guarded by Stefan. Now they'll pass it back to Thompson. Thompson on the right wing, gets it to Williams inside. He loses on the dribble, but it gets tossed to Terrell in the corner. Terrell with a nice spin move, unable to get the shot go. A nice spin move to get open, but just couldn't get the shot to go as the Potters push the ball in transition. Petty on the left wing, guarded by Hazelat. He'll spin free, gets it inside to Burns, unable to handle that pass. McKee finds the ball in the corner. And they'll give it to Stefan on the right wing. Stefan going to work against Jackson.
And I like how much...
Oh, and a steal right here by Thompson. Thompson driving to the lane, puts up a layup, no good. Rebound corralled by Williams, off the mark with the putback.
Wow, that is something you don't see very often.
And another steal by the K's. Williams with an open dunk, and he's not going to miss that one.
Well, as I was going back to earlier, though, before that turnover, I like how the Potters have sort of controlled the pace here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
They have certainly slowed things down, and they want to keep the ball out of the K's hands as much as humanly possible.
Absolutely. 47-42. Morton leads this one with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter.
I like how this game is setting up to finish.
Yeah.
We don't like blowouts in the playoffs, and this game is certainly coming down to the wire.
100%, Nick. I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, that possession right there, back and forth between turnovers, is really the tail of the game. Back and forth basketball it's been all game long. And these two teams are playing with high intensity, high motors. It is enjoyable basketball to watch for us.
Absolutely, and something I want to sort of go back on that I mentioned earlier in the game was the free throws. I think the K's could be in a lot different situation here if they were able to find success at the free throw line. Obviously, you can mark a bunch of things down that the K's could have done differently, but free throws is a major factor as to why I think they're down right now by 5.
You got to hit the free throws, and that is a fundamental part of the game, and that's something they've struggled with all playoffs long. And when it comes down to the wire, like you mentioned, Nick, it could be very crucial. So the Potters will inbound the ball with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left as they lead by 5. 47-42 is your score.
And as the crowd at home can probably hear, the Kankakee student section is starting to get into things now.
Yeah. Burns tied up by Terrell, who are going to give it to Zeller. Zeller from the top of the key drives inside. Zeller shut off, finds an open Burns in the corner. He thought about the three. Now he takes it, and he got it to go.
He felt very composed there. He sort of wanted the defender to step up a little bit.
Yeah.
Sort of felt disrespected there.
That extends the lead to 8 for the Potters as Hazelat gets inside for an and one. 3 the hard way. Back and forth we go.
Woo. And man, is he fired up, as much as he should be.
Yes.
That was a tough play and an excellent finish around the rim.
Hazelat has had a great game, and he is pumped up.
As he looks to be the second K's player in double figures, obviously the other one being Lincoln Williams.
Unable to get that free throw to go. Excuse me, that free throw drained as it took a weird bounce.
Got the friendly bounce there.
Yeah, 50-45 here. My name's Christian Courtney, alongside me, Nick Giuseppe. As there's 3 minutes left here, 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter, and the crowd is getting into it.
It looks like the K's here are sending a lot more traps. And that looks like it's going to be a foul on Lincoln Williams there. That'll be his first, though, so definitely has a lot more fouls to give / play with there.
Yeah, you can live with that.
Yeah.
Something to note is that with that foul on Hazelat, the K's enter the bonus.
Yep.
So any foul, reach in regardless, is going to send them to the line for 2 shots.
Absolutely, and sort of looking back on that foul, maybe that wasn't the best of fouls now that you've put the opposition into bonus, but I certainly don't mind that foul at all.
Inbounded now by Zeller. 50 to 45 point lead for the Potters. Zeller gonna get it to Burns. Burns double team. Give it to Zeller. Trying to force a turnover as McKee throws a shot up in the corner just off the mark. Didn't even get to the net.
That is something you are not grown accustomed to with Alex McKee.
Heavily pressured. I think a fingertip might have got on that. Williams drives baseline. He gets fouled, and that's going to stay on the floor. But regardless, it's going to send the K's to the free throw line. And just taking a look at Lincoln Williams, I know you guys at home cannot see it, but his hands are on his knees. He is tired. He's played every minute of the game so far.
Absolutely. He sort of reminds me of Jimmy Butler when he was on the Miami Heat. Just hands on hips, giving it his all, and looking to end with a playoff win here in the super-sectional.
And excuse me, the K's are not in the bonus, so they are not going to get 2 free throw shots. So the foul was on the floor, and they'll retain in the K's possession. No free throw shots, though, as they're down 5. Terrell inbounds the ball. They're going to get it to Williams up top. Williams guarded by Steffen. Top of the key. A screen by Hazlitt. Pick and roll as they get it to Jackson for 3. Back rim, off the mark. Rebound corralled before almost poked free by Thompson.
And as you can see, this K's crowd, as much as the players, they thought that Thompson certainly got ball before he got anything else.
Yeah, Thompson poked the ball free, but they're going to call a reach-in foul. Potters retain possession. 50 to 45, Morton leads with 2 minutes and 52 seconds left to go in regulation.
Maybe that scoreboard is wrong, but that might be the possession error. I don't think that they're in the bonus yet.
Steffen going to work on Hazlitt. Post-entry feed for Burns. Burns guarded by Jackson. Burns is going to get inside. A little hook, and he got it to go. Extends the lead to 7.
That hook has been money for Burns all game.
Yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself, Nick. As the K's look to respond, the crowd is going for the Potters. Terrell drives inside, kicks it to Jackson. Hazlitt will shoot a 3, off the mark, rebounded by Petty. Petty pushes it forward to Adams. Adams trapped in the corner, and they're going to call a foul on the K's.
I think that was a great shot.
Yeah.
I don't mind that shot. Not at all. I mean, I know there was definitely a defender in his area, but if you have the height advantage on that and you're a good stretch big like Hazlitt, you can let that fly anytime.
Down 7, that's a smart shot to take. The Potters now 52 to 45. As Petty will cross-court pass it to Steffen. Steffen with the posterizing dunk as he drives inside. Woo! Extends the lead to 9.
And the crowd is loving every minute of that dunk.
Hazlitt loses the ball, and Potters retain possession. Empty possession right there for the K's as McKee's kind of trapped in the backcourt, has to get it across. He's not able to do so they call a timeout. Potters will get the possession. That dunk, I want to take back to that dunk by Steffen. That was electric. He drove baseline and dunked on a 6'7" EJ Hazlitt.
Yep, the tallest player in the gym currently, probably. I don't know how tall these fans are, but that is probably the tallest player in the gym that he just dunked on.
Yeah.
I thought he was for sure going to kick that out to the corner or something, but he had other plans, and man, was that amazing to see.
54 to 45. Morton's leading this one down the stretch with the minute 32 left. What a game.
Don't count out the K's here. I know that the time is certainly against the K's.
Yeah.
But the K's can, as we saw earlier in this game, they got off to a 9-0 run. They can easily get 9 points in fast fashion. So if you're the Potters, you definitely want to stay under control here.
I was about to add to that, a 9-point lead in fast fashion. That was right out the gates, a 9-point lead. So you got to apply the pressure. You can't get complacent if you're Morton.
Absolutely. I think the K's are going to come out with some aggression. They're going to look to trap as much as humanly possible.
Full court press instilled by the K's, and
The Potters able to beat it, and they got fouled. Thompson and Terrell pleading their case, but that's going to send Alex McKee to the free throw line, probably the best shooter that the Potters have, the best shooter, three-point shooter in the area, so that is not who you want to foul if you're the K's.
Absolutely, but if you're the Potters, that's absolutely who you want to go to the line.
The first one goes, and that extends this game to a 10-point lead for Morton. 55-45 with a minute and 30 left in the fourth. McKee, second free throw, good.
Wow, and that's surprising. They're going to
sub him out.
Yeah, they're going to sub him out after those 2 free throws.
Zeller, they might want him as a defensive presence.
And sort of a ball handler.
Yes.
Especially with them playing aggressive.
Williams just driving inside fast. You got to go fast, and that's exactly what Williams is doing. This Morton Potters crowd is getting into it.
One thing I've noticed, though, is that Williams has not shot a three-pointer all game.
No.
And that is surprising because he can most definitely shoot them. So I'm surprised that he has not at least attempted one so far this game.
100% right, Nick. Terrell will inbound the ball from the baseline. A minute 26 left in this fourth quarter. The Morton Potters lead this one by 11, 56-45. What a game it has been. Terrell gives it to Williams. Williams, there's a three. Off the mark, rebounded, fighting down low, and it's going to be won by Adams. Adams got a big boy rebound. Adams stands at 6 feet tall, and he was surrounded by Cazalet and Thompson. Cazalet is 6'7", a big boy rebound, and couldn't have come at a better time. This is going to send him to the free throw line as he gets 2 shots.
I know this game is up to double figures, but by no means has this game been a blowout. This has been neck and neck all game. But, I mean, when you sort of get down to the stretch, you sort of have to start following, as he missed his first there.
Yeah. Absolutely right there, Nick. So Adams will attempt his second free throw. This one good, and this one extends the lead to 12 points for Morton. Thompson trying to go fast. Gives it to Williams. Back to Thompson. Thompson's three. Back rim. Out. Big rebound by Hazelat. Hazelat gets it inside to Jackson, and Jackson gets a layup. Cuts the lead down to 10 with a minute and 11 seconds left. 57-47 in favor of the Potters.
And I think if you're the Potters, obviously you have to, one, hit your free throws because they're definitely looking to foul here, but you have to be able to control the ball. Take care of the ball and not give up any silly turnovers, right? Can't force any passes, can't dribble for too long and get predictable, because the K's can absolutely read that if you're getting predictable. And if you're the K's here, you got to start applying pressure. You got, as they've been doing here recently, but you got to look for them to make mistakes, sort of force turnovers, get them in uncomfortable situations, and go down at the other end and start hitting in some threes or wide open layups, as we just saw there.
100% correct there. Once again, my name is Christian Courtney. Alongside me, Nick Giuseppe. 57-47 in favor of the Potters with just over a minute to play. A minute and 11 seconds to be precise. A serviceable amount of time left in this game, but if you are the K's, you got to go quick. 10-point deficit they're facing.
Absolutely, and if you're the Potters, you want to take as much time off this clock as you possibly can before getting fouled.
Burns inbounding the ball for the Potters. Burns gets it to McKee, and that's the guy you want shooting the free throws. He kind of shrugged off a couple fouls right there as the K's did not foul, and they get a turnover. The K's steal the ball, and Thompson fouled. I personally thought McKee got fouled, and I think he might have thought he got fouled too. He kind of let up on the dribbles, and Haslett came from behind, poked the ball free, and got a steal for the K's, and now that sends Thompson at the free throw line for 2.
Absolutely, and if you're the K's, that's exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Obviously, probably got away with a little contact there, but forcing turnovers is exactly what you want.
100% true. Thompson's first free throw. Just short. The lead stays at 10 for Morton.
And free throws have killed this K's team all night.
Yeah.
And that'll probably, if you look at the stat sheet afterwards, probably be the deciding factor as to why they lose this game. Obviously still a minute left, so there's definitely anything that could happen, but if the Potters do hold on to this lead, that'll definitely be a topic of discussion.
Thompson's second free throw is good. Cuts the lead down to 9. Burns once again inbounding the ball for the Potters. Burns gets it to McKee. McKee fouled down low. So this will send Alex McKee, the senior guard, to the free throw line. 57-48 with 58 seconds left here in the fourth.
Absolutely. It's definitely the player you want at the free throw line.
Yeah.
If you're the Potters.
McKee's been so great for this Potters team all year. He's first team all conference. He's one of the best shooters in the area. He's wiping his hands now because they're a little bit sweaty.
Had to make sure they were nice and dry for these very clutch free throws.
The first free throw for McKee. Drained. Extends the lead to 10.
I think it was the towel. It had to have been.
It had to have been the towel.
Had to have been.
The second one good as well. This lead is up to 11 now for the Potters. And you can feel the energy brewing from this Morton student section.
If you're the Cage, you got to start getting up some threes.
Yep. Thompson takes it across half court. Thompson drives inside, kicks it to Terrell. Terrell back to Hazelett. Hazelett will chuck up a three. His three off the mark, rebounded by Steffen. Big rebound, and he tosses it to Adams. Adams trapped down low. Steffen now has the ball still behind half court, able to advance it. And there's Zeller. Zeller gets it to Petty. Wide open inside. His Burns. He gets a layup. The lead is 13, 61-48 in favor of the Potters. William chucks up a three off the mark. Rebound, Petty. And it looks like this game is as good as over. Morton is deafening. This crowd is deafening as it looks like Adams is just going to dribble this one out.
Yeah, and I know Morton won this game by 13, and on the stat sheet that'll probably make it look like it was a blowout victory here for Morton, but by no means was it a blowout victory. The K's played good, but obviously Morton played better, and Morton will advance.
Morton is going to advance as they shake hands at midcourt, and the fans are swagging and surfing on the left end of the court.
And they're getting ready to take down the net already.
Yeah, they're cutting the nets down already. What a tremendous game this was, Nick.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more.
Well worth the hour-and-a-half drive that we had.
Hour-and-a-half ride back is going to be great, too, because we get to talk about it more.
Yeah, absolutely. This Morton Potters team, we talked about it, very experienced, consistent, and deep. And I feel like that was one of the contributing factors as to why this game went as it did. They had the experience. They've been here before. And they matched up well. They did their job. And they're advancing in the playoffs.
Absolutely. And I think if you're the K's, obviously, back-to-back postseasons ending in the super-sectional, definitely no reason to hang your heads. Yeah. I mean, you had a great season. Obviously, it didn't end the way that you wanted it to, but it was a great season, and the players battled all year long. Obviously, they were 29-1 heading into this game and nationally ranked. But, I mean, just a heck of a game by both teams and a great win for this Potters team.
Yeah, nothing to be ashamed about for the K's. Hang your heads up high on a tremendous season. The Potters are going to advance. Head coach Abe Zeller is smiling as the student section swarms the court. It's a sea of white as the Potters celebrate their victory. 61-48 is the final score in this one. My name's Christian Courtney. Alongside me, Nick Giuseppe. What a tremendous night it's been.
Absolutely, and I'm just glad we were able to announce this game. This game has been electric.
All right, this has been Christian Courtney and Nick Giuseppe signing off for Clutch Sports Media. Final score of this one, 61-48 in favor of the Potters. Thank you and have a tremendous night.